What's going on, Tiger fans? My name is Eric Trosclair with Be in the Know, and welcome to On the Tigers. What we do here is we review last week's game and we preview the upcoming game for the LSU Tigers. So, LSU Florida, man, let's get into it right away. We're going to talk about this LSU defense. This is an elite unit. This team, what more can you say about these guys? 5 interceptions on the day, 79 rush yards given up by this team. What a performance. You got to give it to Coach Blake Baker and what he's done in his few years, being here in Baton Rouge. And I don't think it's that big of a bold statement really to say that Blake Baker is one of your top defense coordinators in the country at this point. So let's shout out some of the guys that performed well in this game on all three levels of the defense, right? So you got Jack Pyburn. You got to feel good for this guy. He was flocking to the football. Playing against his old team, man, playing against the Gators, that's where he came from, and you love to see that. It's a real feel-good story for this guy. So Dominic McKinley, it might have not showed up big on the stat sheet, although he did get a sack and a tackle for loss, but he he's just disrupting, the opposing offenses, and you love to see that. So in the linebacker room, same thing as last week, right? Devon Keys and Wes Weeks. What more can you say about these guys? Like I said last week, Devon Keys is a guy that came on late last season and just flew to the football. Played like his hair was on fire. You love to see that. You love to watch guys like this play. Same thing with Wes Weeks, man. He's just really showing out right now, especially don't get me started on the whole Weeks debacle. I believe that's why referees should have to have post-game press conferences, but wouldn't be for the referees who wouldn't get to play the game, so I'll save my thoughts on that. So, in the defensive backfield, man, A.J. Halsey, Tamarcus Cooley, and Deshaun Spears show up big time for the Tigers and really make a name for themselves and just keep showing out, man. This was a great game for this LSU Tiger defense. So let's go into the offensive side of the ball. Not too flashy, not the funnest team in the world to watch, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Coach Brian Kelly said after the game, this team will play a lot of field position from what I gathered and just kind of rely on the defense. And to be honest, it kind of spooks me because I feel like at some point you're going to have to put up points against some of these offenses that you have upcoming on the schedule, and it would just be nice to see at some point. But like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's working right now. This team's undefeated. You're 1-0 in conference play, so what more can you ask for? So Nussmeier apparently is a little dinged up, torso injury. If you've ever tried to throw anything or ever tried to run with a torso injury, it's not comfortable. It's not fun. So that might be part of the reason why this team isn't really pushing it downfield at this point. So Death Taxes and Aaron Anderson, right? Aaron Anderson showing up big time yet again for the Tigers. Mr. Consistent. You gotta love to see it. You love to see it. You love to see this guy work. Double A, man. And he's big time. And like I said, just Mr. Consistent. Xavier Thomas puts together another solid performance for the Tigers. And Bauer Sharp, man. It was good to see him show up big time on the stat sheet. My game ball for this game goes to Mr. Deshaun Spears. With limited reps on the day, this guy really made his presence felt, made it known that he was there. 2 interceptions, a big pick 6 on the day. You got to feel good for this guy. I think he's going to see a lot more of the field in these upcoming games. So let's get on to the next game. The Southeastern Louisiana Lions come into Baton Rouge 2-1 on the season. They're on a 2-game winning streak after dropping their season opener to the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. This team can put up a lot of points in a hurry, man, so you got to watch it with these guys. They would love nothing more than to come in here and just wreak havoc and just put on a show in Baton Rouge. Even if they don't win the game, if they could just compete, that would be a win for these guys. So they're going to use 2 quarterbacks, Carson Camp and Kyle Lowe. Both of these guys could run, especially Kyle Lowe. He already has a game of 100 yards on the season. In the running back room, you got Jaden Henry and Calvin Smith Jr. These are 2 guys that are solid backs. Just they can take it to you at any point, so you just better be ready. And pass catchers, you got Jalen Domingo and Tristan Goodley. These are leading two pass catchers on these teams. Both guys are putting together solid seasons over there in Hammond. So on the defensive side of the ball, man, on the defensive line, you got Rowan Briggs and Ahmad Bradley. These guys are wreaking havoc in the backfield. You know, they both have multiple sacks on the season. Then in the defensive backfield, you got Blaine Delahousse and Cameron Norwood. Both these guys have multiple games with, just solid showings, in the defensive backfield for the Lions. So in the linebacker room, you got KK Reno. If you followed the Lions for the last couple seasons, this is a name that you're familiar with. This guy's fun to watch, man. Just an old school smash mouth football player. He flies to the football, and you love to see that. This next guy, man, Mr. Carter Hanberry. Shout out to Carter. Grew up playing sports with a lot of people in Carter's family. This is a good kid. Comes from a great family, and it's awesome to see Carter doing his thing over there in Hammond. So for LSU, you're going to want to see your leaders step up for a game like this to get the team excited, get the blood flowing, get this team up, Defense, keep it up. Can you get a goose egg? Can you shut this team down early and keep your foot on the pedal, right? Again, I feel like a broken record, but if we're going to play field position, Grant Chadwick continues to be just an absolute weapon for this Tiger team. We have nothing to worry about at the punting position. And same thing, Damian Ramos is really Tigers, and you just love to see it. On the offensive side of the ball, man, if Nuss is filling up to it, if he's filling up to playing, hopefully Tigers could put up some points quick and get them out of there early, get them some rest, especially with Ole Miss next week. You would love to see that. I personally would like to see him sit out the whole game, but hey, that's just me. So my fun fact for the game, LSU and Southeastern have only met up 2 times previously. The last time was in 2018. The time before that was in 1949. And then 1949 LSU Tiger football team featured a guy by the name of Ebert Van Buren. Ebert went on to be the 7th overall pick in the NFL draft. And he eventually became a LSU Tiger Hall of Famer. But what makes Ebert even more special is before he came to LSU, he served in World War II, and he really has a pretty cool story. I encourage each and every one of you to go out there and just Google him. Look him up, read a little bit about him. It's crazy, the things this guy went through, and was still able to put together the football career that he did. So thank you for tuning in. This has been Eye on the Tigers with Eric Trosclair. Look us up at Be in the Know on all your favorite social platforms. Have a good day, and go Tigers.